Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jahan, and today I'm going to be talking about the Married at First Sight reunion. So if you like this type of thing, don't forget to subscribe and do give this video a like because it really helps my channel. So I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, so there are spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, you haven't seen the episodes that come up to the reunion, but it was a reunion dinner and sofa session on the last two sessions. So that was on Friday and yesterday, Monday. And I've caught up with it all, and I just wanted to give you my thoughts around some of it following my previous video. I still have this really annoying cold, so please excuse my raspy voice. But first of all, my overall thing on the whole reunion part was it was quite lame, if I'm honest. The dinner was quite lame. They were very, very good with their advertising because it was just the same old stuff going over and over again. The same characters, Olivia smashing the glass, the cheating with Carolina and Daniel. It was all just the same stuff, really. I'm not going to talk about Daniel and Carolina because I just think they just want airtime and they're just really annoying. I just found just everything about them is annoying. She is incredibly irritating. I just can't be bothered to talk about them. I don't find them particularly interesting. I thought that she treated Dion really badly, decided to go off with somebody else, and that's their story. You lose people the way you find them, so, you know, I don't care about them enough to talk about them in this video. But I did want to pick up on the three same couples that I mentioned before, and a little bit about Selena and Cody, because I didn't mention them in the first video. And I didn't mention them because I just thought their story was really frustrating. I thought from the very beginning, Cody showed no interest in Selena. He obviously had an issue with the fact that she was Asian, and he was open about that, saying that he's never dated a girl like her. I thought he was just childish from the beginning, just really closed-minded. She was so open and almost too open and love-bombing at the beginning. Like, she really wanted to make this happen. She was so excited. I really question her own insecurities. I feel really quite sad when I see people like that because I just feel like she's a really beautiful woman again, and to be that insecure is really sad to see. But it can happen. Sometimes the most secure people can be around others and somebody that they're interested in and feel completely unworthy, which is really sad. Her mum tried to warn her. Her mum said he wasn't very good for her. She didn't listen, and she even said to him, he's just not that into you, because everything felt forced. Again, if you're having to force somebody to say all these things to you, and I can't show affection, and everything was just so awkward with him. I just thought I didn't really want to discuss him because it was so obvious on the table, like throughout the whole thing, that he just really wasn't that into her. But as like lots of others, I was really shocked when he said yes at the commitment ceremony. That was just, I thought this was his easy ticket out, just to say, look, we went gone through highs and lows, I don't see a future with you, but he still said yes at the end. And I was shocked that she said yes as well, because I just thought that last chat with her mum was enough for her to think, okay, I've been through, he likes me, he doesn't like me, he doesn't see a future with me, he does see a future with me, I've been through all of this stuff, do I want to continue through this on the other side? We don't even live in the same state, what am I going to do? I thought she was also going to have some common sense in that moment and say no, but when they both said yes, I just thought, oh gosh, this isn't going to work. And lo and behold, this is what happened yesterday. Let's watch some clips from yesterday's reunion on the sofa session.
What did you mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw I was a bit off my game last night, but Selena and I decided to call things last night.
What?
So as you can see, Cody, again, skirts around the wording. Why do they do this? They skirt around the wording. We decided to call things last night. And his face has got that awkward, like when someone's smiling, but his face is very annoying in that whole message, first of all. And then her face, she looks absolutely devastated. He said, we decided to call it. Extra digging, he decided to call it, as he wants to say, so he decided to break up with her. So it wasn't like a case of we decided, we came to a conclusion, we talked last night and we decided we're going to end it here because it's not working. Let's watch another clip from this.
I really wanted this to work, but I just thought to myself, like, throughout the experiment, yes, we did. We had some really amazing times, but we also had some shockers, so we never quite lost that habit.
Why ask her to move to Sydney and live with you?
So the way I was sort of conveying it is like we would plan to. That was sincere. Obviously, Selena and I had a full conversation, and when we did it, we were in the best spot. But yeah, last night it got to the point where Selena was just sort of grabbing my hand and placing it there, and to me that felt very forced. And yeah, it was just a realization, and it's for the best. Like, I know I didn't show Selena how much I cared, and that's my biggest fault, but she needs someone who can show her, and I can't.
Shocking. It's really...
Selena, have you fallen in love with Cody? Yeah.
So that was his excuse, that they went through ups and downs, and then he realised that actually they've been through a lot and they can't go through with it, which I just thought was absolutely ridiculous. Why ask her to move to Sydney? It's another state if you're really not that sure. Lift your whole life over, make plans to do that. It's just such false hope. And then say she needs somebody who could show her affection, and I just can't. That is the biggest load of BS that I've ever heard. I just think that he was just immature throughout the whole thing, and to lead her on that far and to the point where she's saying that she's in love with him, she looks absolutely devastated. I think this is an experience for her to sort of look back and realise her worth and not put herself in that sort of situation again. You shouldn't have to beg anybody to show you affection or to beg you to show you love, because if it's there, it will happen naturally. And I think this is so sad. I think if I was her mum, I'd be so upset for her. But it would also be a massive lesson for her too, I think, on how she navigates these kind of relationships, because it's really sad. Nobody should be made to feel this way by any partner. So let's watch this final clip of what Selena's got to say back to him.
For your whole life, from one state to another, if you didn't feel something deep with them, or feel, you don't, I don't know how to explain myself. Sorry.
Even Olivia is showing some kind of emotion, just lack of empathy.
I feel horrible, like, to see how upset Selena is. I don't even know I've made the right decision, but I really think it is the right one. It sucks.
Cody, that's really not helpful for
I know.
Selena
I know
right
it's
now.
not, and it's
she
you're right.
needs clarity. She's confused by your backflip here.
Exactly, she deserves it, man.
Right now, looking at things in black and white terms, do you see a future with Selena?
I could.
Do you or don't you? She needs a response.
No.
This is just one of the worst responses ever. So, first of all, he says that he's not sure if he made the right decision. Again, that little bit of hope that some people leave because they don't want to just say the harsh reality of it is no. I'm really glad that one of the experts really pushed him to say, do you see yourself with her or not? Because it's really not fair leaving somebody in limbo like that. And he says no. I'm so glad that at least she knows and she's got closure on this now. But this whole scene, the language he uses just shows how immature he is. Like, oh, it sucks. Like, you've spent 3-4 months with somebody, you've invested time in them, you've built a relationship, and the language that you use is that we're no longer together and it sucks. Like, seriously, This guy is so too immature for her. He doesn't really know what he wants. I'm glad that they have now separated and she can go and live her life and he can go and find somebody who's more at his level, because the way he's approached this, the leading on, is not healthy, and unfortunately she's now going to be left with trying to sort of work out what went wrong, and she may even blame herself for some of this stuff. I hope she looks back at this whole experience when she watches it back and realises that actually very little of it was to do with her, but more about his level of emotional intelligence. Let's look at another couple now. Let's look at Brent and Tamara. We're just going to do a really quick look at them because I kind of already gave you my opinion on Brent and Tamara in my previous video, but let me just have a quick look at Brent and Tamara because there were a few things that came out during that time.
For you, Tamara, what feelings are you left with?
There is none.
Yeah, right, okay.
I lived that in the past. That's done. I'm bigger and better things in life.
So there we go. As soon as she sits on the sofa, Tamara is Tamara. There's no remorse. There's no looking back and thinking how my behaviours come across, how people across Australia and the world are going to see me now. Straight away, it's like, I've got no feelings. She's so childish. Got no feelings. I want to bigger and better things now. Just like, she's the sort of person we just want to say, just grow up. Like, just don't say anything at all. Just say, there aren't any feelings there, but there are no hard feelings. Just something, anything to make you a little bit more redeemable, like just some redeemable features. Just take this moment, you know, you've been away from the camera and you've come back. It's just totally embarrassing that she's still having this, but it's not a performance, that she's still displaying these character traits, even though some of her friends must have said, you didn't come, she obviously doesn't have good friends around her, because good friends would say, you didn't come across best in front of people, so maybe just try and be a little bit more humble when you're on TV again. But no, straight away, she's just acting like a brat, sitting there, just trying to disrespect Brent once again. Let's look at this next clip.
Where do you work?
The new bar, restaurant and club.
Why does he work in a nightclub? He doesn't appear to be what I've hoped for. Average just isn't for me. I'm not average. I don't do average.
Tonight.
So once again, this is just actual proof that from the moment he opened his mouth and said that he worked in bars, restaurants and nightclubs, it wasn't good enough for him. Nor did she didn't even find out what his position was within the bar, restaurant, nightclub. It was just because he worked in hospitality, it wasn't good enough for him, and she sees hospitality as average. If hospitality is average, hospitality is a real grind, like on your feet, pleasing people, pleasing characters like her, if you can imagine, juggling lots of balls. It's physical as well as mental. I just think she's just so disrespectful, and so disrespectful to a massive, like, how many people working in hospitality? Millions and millions. And also somebody who probably sees herself as, I'd like to go to the nicest nightclubs and bars and things. Do you think she's going to be welcomed into those places now people know what she thinks of people that work in hospitality? Just, her attitude stinks. I went through this last time. Let's not stay on this for too long, but let's look at another clip with Brent and Tamara as well on that couch.
Brent, is he like, what does he do here? I think he waits tables. I honestly have no idea.
You have no idea?
What he does? No, I have no idea.
In 3 months of being with me, you think I serve tables. You haven't listened to a word I've said.
I really don't understand what you do.
So the reason why I've showed this clip is because there was a bit of to and fro from two of the dinners ago where she tried to deny ever saying this clip, and her best friend Olivia also said she never said that. Well, we can see now that she did say that. She said that he worked in this place, she didn't know what he does, I think he waits tables. And rightly, he was annoyed because that's not actually what he does there. I don't think he's annoyed because he thinks that she's a waiter. I don't think he has an issue with that. I think it's just the fact that she hasn't listened to a word this guy has said, because she just immediately was not interested from the wedding because she already had an assumption about the sort of person that he was. So once again, Tamara is showing that she's lying on the sofa. She tries to make out that it wasn't about that. It was about, she's not judging anyone. It was just that she didn't understand. She clearly is judging and she's lying, and she knows that she's being pretty nasty about it, because that's why she's laughing and cackling about it. Let's watch another clip.
Phone call last night that Mitch made to you, I believe. Tell me about that, please.
Mitch was really drunk, called me at 2 a.m. and Mitch was like, oh, I know I shouldn't be calling you, like, blah, blah. What? And I was like, what are you calling me? And he's like, shouldn't be calling you right now, but I'm thinking about you, whatever. And I was like, gotta go, hung up the phone.
Bullshit! I'm sorry, Tamara, but that is bullshit.
You did say, you called, I texted you the next day and I said, because I felt uncomfortable about it and I didn't want to bring it up.
Mitch,
Yes.
that's a big bombshell that Tamara's
Bloody
dropped.
oath it is. It's crazy. I can't stop thinking about you. You were not the only person that I called. Like, I called Dion, I called Ella. I was, buddy, making phone calls all over the place. I was pissed.
You were, yeah, exactly. So you were very, very, very drunk saying, I shouldn't be calling you. I don't know why I'm calling you.
I just think like the should have brought up, I guess, this sort of stuff maybe last night. I don't know, like it just feels like it's ammo.
So this is the other bombshell that Tamara decided to drop, but she didn't drop it. It was Brent, I think, which was hilarious at dinner, the way he just like landed that on there. But they brought it up on the sofa around this phone call that was supposed to have happened between Mitch and Tamara, where Mitch was saying, I can't stop thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. I just think Tamara is she just is not doing herself any favours. Like, seriously, you still have to live your life after these shows, and you just come across as just really horrible. And she's continuing that as well. Now, there are rumours in the press to say that Tamara and Mitch are actually together in real life now. I wonder if that's true or not. And the only thing that will tell us is probably Instagram later. And if it's posted on Instagram now that Mitch and Ella aren't together, because comments and all that kind of stuff have been switched off all their pages. But I don't think we'll know whether that Tamara and Mitch are truly together until things from the Australian press or happens to appear on Instagram. So that'll be interesting to see whether that rumour is really real or not. Anyway, let's move on from Tamara and Brent, because I think I've said all I need to say in the last two videos about them. And let's move on to, who have we got now? Let's move on to Olivia and Dominica, who aren't actually a couple. They're just a couple of the two girls that kept butting heads during the whole time. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, because if you've been following this, you'll know Olivia and Dominica have had horrible fights throughout this, and Olivia has been particularly nasty with her. But I just want to show what everybody's reaction was like when it finally came forward that Olivia was lying about the smashed glass and it being used as a weapon. So let's watch these quick clips.
We yell all the time, so my voice isn't okay. Apparently not. Is she serious?
I think, like, for me,
No. Like, my entire life, I've been told that my voice isn't enough. That's alright. That's aggressive. No. Do you know what? Do you know what? You're screaming at me and telling me that my voice isn't enough.
I do not care to find a way forward. I do not care. I don't want to be associated with white trash like that. She got up and stood over me and smashed her wine glass and then proceeded to wave
When you say smash the wine glass, what are we talking?
Smashed it.
On the table.
grabbed and then waved the broken wine glass in my face while she stood over me and screamed.
Like a weapon.
Like a weapon.
Like a weapon.
bullshit. She wasn't holding it at you.
But she wouldn't let go either.
She wasn't using it as a weapon.
She did not put it down.
There you go, there was the evidence shown to the rest of the group. Ella perfectly telling her that's not what she did and that's not what she did. And everyone got to see. Brent was laughing, obviously. Everybody thought it was hilarious that actually this girl has been telling this lie for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it just didn't happen that way. Dominica should never have smashed that glass. It could have hurt somebody anyway, smashing that glass. It's a really stupid thing to do. But she admitted that and she apologised for it. But she did lie about using it as a weapon. It was done in frustration and she shouldn't have done that. But as you can see here, Olivia is now... But every time Dominica was saying, watch the videotape, now we've all seen it and we know that it was absolute rubbish and she was lying once again. Olivia is then also asked by the experts whether she regrets any of her behaviour, and just watch this clip, because this is winds me up massively, and I'll tell you why after. Just watch this clip.
Of course I do. Of course I do. I don't like speaking to people like how I've spoken to Dominica.
What about you, Dom? Have you got any regrets?
Yeah, look, I mean, in regrets, obviously my actions at the girls' night at the retreat, I think that just set off a series of events that I really wish had never happened. But when it comes to saying my opinion and voicing my concern and speaking up, I have no regrets. Whatever I brought to the table, it was never used as ammunition, it was never hurt or said in malice, and I think that can't be said for a lot of other people sitting here tonight.
Again, this clip, just the reason why it winds me up so much is Olivia's voice that she uses. It's that voice that kids use, or that just want to pretend to fake crime when they know they're in that trouble. Like, oh, I didn't mean this. Like, no, there are no tears on your face. You've just downturned your mouth, and you're using this really annoying baby voice to say you regret things. All the way through, you said you've regretted nothing and you would behave exactly the same way. But now the evidence has been presented to everybody. Now you say you regret things because of how you're going to come across. The whole thing with them didn't need to get to the point it did, but she carried on this hatred towards Dominica for things that actually Olivia had done wrong. So she just carried on baiting her, being nasty, making all these snide comments under her breath, getting and Googling the picture of Googling a picture of Dominica, her OnlyFans picture, which actually it's come to light that that picture's not even on Google. You have to go actually into OnlyFans, or you have to really dig to get that picture. So she really dug to get a picture, tried to get a story, tried to humiliate her on national TV, and it didn't work out. It didn't put her in favour. It just made her look like the nasty person. And now she regrets it, and now she's putting on this fake crying voice. It'll be interesting to see how she navigates this afterwards. I'm not going to follow, to be honest, I'm not going to follow these people afterwards, after this programme, if I'm really honest. It's funny to watch and it's entertaining on TV, but I'm not gonna follow them on Instagram and all that kind of stuff afterwards. But it'd be interesting to see how she decides to navigate life after this, because I think she's going to find it really tricky. She's going to find it really tricky. I know she's already lost her job as a teacher, and she won't be able to teach ever, which is really bad. But this is the consequence if you behave a certain way and you say these things on camera and you treat people this way. You treat people and you tell people that you don't have empathy. Like, nobody wants somebody without empathy looking after their child. So yeah, that would be an interesting one for the future, and see what happens with her. The last couple I will look up is Mitch and Ella, and they turned up together, which is a surprise for everyone. So at the end of the ceremony, he said that he couldn't give an answer now, he needed more time, he wanted to go home, see his family, and she was pretty upset about that. And I have my thoughts around that, and let's just watch this quick clip as to why he didn't make a decision at the commitment ceremony, and I'll tell you my thoughts after that.
I didn't want to commit that night. I needed to go home and just see my friends and family and just sort of reset. And then, yeah, once I got home, I guess we were talking. I was thinking about her all day, every day. And I was always thinking about her. I was always wanting to be with her. And, yeah, that was evident as soon as I got home.
So, Mitch.
So my understanding is, when they had the cinema, friends and family who have been watching them say, this is how I think you're behaving, I'm not sure, you've changed, or this person's really good for you, we've been watching you, you're coming across really, but they say all these things. And so in that time when he went home, I bet you any money his family and friends had a good talk with him and said, what do you think you're doing? Like, she's a really good girl, she's really into you, she's committed, she's coming across so well, like, you're crazy if you don't pursue this. And for me, again, that's a bit of a red flag. I just feel like this whole relationship with Mitch and Ella, I don't think it's going to end well. If it does, then great, but I would hate to have, I think it's a sort of relationship where you'd always have that little bit of uncertainty, because it was just, it's not as if they were actually going to get married afterwards. They were going to be boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever. And after spending two months with somebody and not coming to that conclusion yourself, without having to go home and see friends and family and thinking, oh, I actually want to pursue this and continue this relationship without, you know, let's just see how it goes. I would like to continue this, but I am unsure in these sort of areas, but I would like to continue this and be boyfriend and girlfriend and grow on what we've got outside of this experiment. After 2 months and not come to that conclusion yourself without having to see friends and family, I don't think that's great, to be honest. I really don't think that's great for Ella. I don't think it's great groundings for her. She seemed really happy, and they seem really happy on that sofa, and I really hope that if he is the one and it does work out, then that's great, because I think she comes across as somebody who really deserves somebody who is going to treat her very, very well. Everyone deserves somebody that's going to treat them well, but just in the context of this programme, I think she is, for me, was the shining star out of this whole programme. She made the whole thing more bearable, I think, as well, for everybody. But the way he has, I don't know, the way he's gone about things, this sudden U-turn, having to go home first, see his family, make sure, you know, and then make a decision. I don't know, I just felt like it's not great. I don't think it's a great start to the relationship. I'm not completely convinced by them. I really hope it does work out for her and that she is happy and that he does treat her well and go on to continue to show her how much he likes her. But yeah, I think this was going to be a watch this space, and it also depends on the rumours with Tamara, whether they are true outside of this experiment. So that was basically it. The sofa was pretty dull. The rumours around Jackson and Olivia having split up, I think they tried to feed that in during that trailer. They haven't, they're still very much together, moving in together, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, everything was like just as we expected. The only other surprise was that Dominica and Jack had split up, but there are still sparks, and they said never say never. So, you know, they may get together they may get together in the future, they may not. But there wasn't anything too controversial that came out. There wasn't any kind of extra drama that we already knew, that we didn't already know from previous episodes. Like before, in previous seasons, there have been extra drama at that reunion. I don't feel that there was this time. I feel like that trailer really, they tried to make something of it because of the lack of drama, really. And yeah, it's over now, so I wonder who the next contestants will be. They've probably already got them lined up for the meat grinder, more meat for the grinder, as they say. And yeah, I did really enjoy this season. There were some funny characters. There was a good amount of drama in there. There was the villain, there was the hero. So yeah, I think the experts should do a better job next time of matching people, because I did feel like there were so many mismatches this time. It was more about the drama than the actual matching. It's a shame, because it would be better to have a few more couples that actually genuinely made it. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed MAFS. Let me know what you think of Married at First Sight Australia. I think it's the best MAFS of all of them. I know they changed the format of the UK one to make it a bit more like the Australian one. I watched like 2 episodes and I couldn't watch it at all. I couldn't stand it. I think this one is the best of all of the Married at First Sight franchises that they do, and probably the only reality TV that I will probably keep watching year on year until I get completely bored of it. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next video, and take care. See you then.